Hello everybody, my name is Kathleen Glover. I am a delegate at PSU, Providence Student Union. Sorry. I'm a delegate at PSU and member of the Ethnic Studies Task Force.
Hi everyone, my name is Dorva Charlie. I'm a senior at Classical High School. I'm a member of Providence Student Union. I'm also a delegate of Providence Student Union and a member of the Ethnic Studies Task Force.
Hi, I'm Virginia Georgia. I'm a senior at Classical High School, pronoun she, her. I'm also part of the Ethnic Studies Task Force at Providence Student Union.
So about PSU. Our mission is building student power so that young people can improve their education and well-being. Student-led activist movement for Providence High School. Okay, so yeah. Sorry, I just mumbled on words. We basically are all about student voice. We have delegates at every Providence High School. They often have chapter meetings, often held every week, maybe sometimes like once a while, once a month. It varies between the delegates, but and then we usually have a big meeting with all the delegates, discussing what's going on in schools. That's where we get campaign ideas running. That's where we get what our goals are for the school year, for our goals are for the month. So that's basically about PSU.
Other campaigns we have done are the Stopping High Stakes Testing, the Bus Pass campaign, which was how I initially got involved in the Providence Student Union. That happened my freshman year of high school, so I was a little bit about the Bus Pass campaign. And what it was that students were required to live 2.5 miles away from their school in order to get a free bus pass from the school. Otherwise, I think at the time bus passes were $60, and if their parents couldn't afford to buy bus passes, not much the student or the family could do. So what we did at PSU was we came up with different strategies, and if the student didn't have a way to get to school, the impact it had on their learning, and then we came up with a goal, and our goal was to reduce the bus pass mileage from 2.5 miles to 2 miles, and we did a little mini walk in our shoes campaign, and we did a couple laps around the mayor's office, 2.5 laps, converted into laps, and then the mayor came out and talked to us, and we were able to lower the bus pass mileage from 2.5 to 2 miles for the following school year. And then another campaign was the 2017 Providence Student Walkout, and then a campaign that we're currently working on is the Ethnic Studies campaign, which all three of us are members of the task force. Ethnic Studies classes were implemented in Providence High Schools, 5 Providence High Schools just last year, and that's Adventure, Evolutions, EQ, Alvarez, and Central High School. We're currently working with the campaign, like I said, because we didn't want the people making decisions on that classroom to be the people making decisions on a regular history classroom, because we wanted to look different from our regular history classes that we were taking, and kind of represent the students that are taking that studies classroom, what the class is actually about. And then our current campaign also is the Student Bill of Rights, which is a general outline of rights that students should have and they should be given to make sure that the education system doesn't take advantage of it.
Enough is enough. It's time for Providence students to stand up for their rights. Students are required to attend school every day, but for thousands of students in Providence, getting an education means going to schools that are unsafe, unhealthy, and where we don't feel respected or engaged. Students day after day are forced to sit in crumbling buildings, often built on toxic sites, breathing in contaminated air and drinking dirty water. For years, Providence Student Union has fought for a better education system. Now, we are declaring everything we know students deserve. The Student Bill of Rights demands safe, healthy, and engaging schools for all students. These articles are the basic rights that students have identified as necessary for us to learn. They address the issues we find with the current state of our schools.
I tried to walk away from the police officer because he wanted to talk to me, and I told him I didn't have to talk to him. He proceeded to grabbing my wrist, twisting it, and putting me in handcuffs and throwing me in the back of the police car.
There's been several instances where I've been questioned for the bathroom that I'm in. There's plenty of bathrooms in that school, but there's not one gender-neutral one, so people like myself who just don't feel comfortable.
At classical, our environment's not the best. We have brown water coming out of the bubblers, the ceiling leaks regularly, there's mold, it smells like mildew. There's just a bunch of things going on.
Because I'm dyslexic, so many teachers just overlooked that and kept just pushing me to the next grade or pushing the next thing. All the teacher said was oh, she's slow, or she's not paying attention, or is basically telling me that I was dumb. I told him I wanted to be an electrical engineer. He told me, don't you think you're getting ahead of yourself there?
Visit www.psu-rights.com to sign the petition and read the full version of the Student Bill of Rights. If you believe that every student deserves an education with dignity, join us. We need your help.
So I'm just going to give you guys a short account of one of my most campaigns working with Providence Student Union. So I really enjoy being with PSU because as a student, as a school student, it provides me with a lot of opportunities. All of us are on the ethnic studies task force, and through that, we're able to lead facilitations with Providence Public School District officials, which gives us a one-on-one access with teachers and officials from the district that otherwise would not have listened to our suggestions for how students in Providence actually want to be instructed and taught. So I was part of the 2017 PDD walkout in solidarity, which was a protest to Trump's inauguration that happened on January 20th. When the idea was first brought up to us in our classical chapter meeting for PSU, I was very hesitant at first because it was happening around midterms and actually directly in a midterm. And my first reaction was nobody's going to do this because nobody wants to get a 0 on their exam. So as time went on, I saw more and more support garnered for the campaign. So it started motivating me, and actually our chapter for classical ended up creating a petition that got 500 signatures from alum, parents, teachers, and students, basically allowing students to participate in the walkout safely without receiving a failing grade on all of their midterms, which was said to be a punishment for participating in the walkout. So we were able to sit with our school's administration and make sure that our students were able to have a voice in political change. So through PSU's involvement with the Providence walkouts, we were able to lead a bunch of student organizing. We did a bunch of kind of telemarketer calls to a bunch of students of ours that had actually signed up for PSU, kind of letting them know what was happening. We got a bunch of adult allies, and actually on the day of the walkout, which had a huge turnout with thousands of students from across the district, I was able to, I was one of the many students that actually led a speech on the State House steps. So I basically gave a speech about why Trump was definitely not a fit to lead our country and how he would further marginalize many oppressed groups within our country, people of color, women, the LGBTQ community, and so forth. So through PSU, I've been able to, as a student, as a high school student, actually put forth my socially conscious ideas and actually make political change.
Organizing is important to me because you often hear, well, I'm an African, so I grew up African, total African. It was rules and regulations. So it was when adults are speaking in the room, you don't talk. When your teacher is saying something, you don't respond. But as you grow and you get into high school, and as you know more, and as you may become socially conscious, you realize is some things that adults talk about or some things that teachers tell you to do may be unreasonable, may be nonsense. And Providence Student Union gives us the space to organize properly so that we can make change, make forceful change in our communities, in our schools. You know, as we were watching that video, there are some people who have been handcuffed in their own school. You wonder how that can happen. It happens all the time. We don't pay for counselors, but we pay for cops to come after school to meet them at the parking lot so that they don't cause any trouble and then there's no fight going on. You often hear like the nurse is not here, like, but there's somebody in need of of medical attention, you know. And Providence Student Union, we organize so that these things can stop. You often hear that millennials are lazy, that we don't do anything, but that's not the case here, especially with all of these youth-led organizers. We don't do that. We don't sit here and allow something to change by itself. We make the change for ourselves because we know that none of these adults who don't agree with us are going to do that. And in order to make change now, we use our voice to say something. And some people may disagree, but it really doesn't matter at the end of the day because here we are changing bus passes regulations, planning student walkouts, which in many schools we got threatened if we walked out. I know in my school, my principal said that Martin Luther King wouldn't have wanted that. I disagree. but we got threatened and said that with every action there's a consequence. But we as organizers, we as youth-led organizers, with the strong, powerful voices are ready to take the consequences, ready to take whatever's in our way, just to make a change, just to do something that can last, just to make our mark, so that when we leave or when some of us stay, it continues to grow, it continues to progress. You know, as a student, I realized that some things are just not meant to stay quiet about. And that's basically what we do. We just organize. It's a beautiful thing what comes out of it, honestly, in my opinion.
You can help and join PSU by taking action and go on providencestudentunion.org/action, and you can also go on BUstudentunion.org/.